Tage Thompson, one of your moments of the game, your Firth moments of the game, brought to you by Firth. For all the moments in your life, go forth to Firth. 31 goals on the season for Tage Thompson. The Sabres get the win, 2-1, and Peyton Krebs along the way, quietly, given that there was a 20-day break in the middle, has 11 points in his last 12 games with the Sabres, which I think is easily a best for him in any segment of games like that since he has joined the team. I mean, he is 2 points away from a career high. It's not very high. Like, the bar to clear is only 28 points, and he's sitting right now at 27. So 1 to tie and 2 to pass a career high for Krebs. Playing on the wing this year. And while we're on the Sabres, there's some more football I want to get to. The Derek Carr thing and what quarterbacks or teams that need quarterbacks should be supposed to do this summer and spring. But on the Sabres, a couple of things from yesterday that I'm wondering about for the remainder of the season. Like, for instance, is the power play going to be this bad all year? I know they're 16th. Or did they drop after yesterday? Like, that is the biggest numbers lie argument that I've ever seen in my life. I am someone that I will blindly trust the numbers. I will watch something on the ice or on the field, and I'll see a number after the game that says what I saw wasn't true, and I'll go, all right, my eyes were lying to me. That's how I'm gonna approach this. This is one area where I refuse. I refuse to believe this is a middle-of-the-road power play.
You're taking a stand against analytics because of the Sabres power play?
There is no way that there are 15 power plays in the NHL that are better than that one, right? There's no way.
It depends on how you're defining better. They do it by percentage you score.
Right.
So, they score the 15th most in the league. And, does that mean they're good? That's a good question.
They did drop. They did drop the 17th, by the way.
Okay, 17th.
17th,
maybe more appropriate. Yeah. The first power play last night. You don't want to jump right on them because it's they just got off the break. They just Tage just won a gold.
Yep.
It's probably the first time Tage has been on the ice on a power play with Norris at all since Norris was hurt. So you want to give him a little room to breathe. But I was like, if anyone forgot how this goes for them, like, that was it. They just can't get the puck in the zone. Mm-hmm. They get it in the zone, and they make a couple bad decisions. Tage with a brutal giveaway at the top of the zone, leading to a shorthanded breakaway against. Mm-hmm. It's a problem. It's got to get figured out because that's a unit that can win you a playoff game or a playoff series. And, you've got the talent to have a good one. So figure out how to have a good one.
Yeah. I do think this is one of those where, is this luck or is this they are very selective and they are like they are at 5-on-5? They're a quality shooting team over a quantity shooting team. Because in the amount of shots that they generate per 60 minutes of power play time in the NHL this year, they rank 29th in the NHL. Mm-hmm. Like, per hour of power play, the Sabres get 48 shots. The best teams in the league, like Edmonton and Vegas for this, like, they're up around 60.
Yeah.
And by expected goals, they are the third worst power play in the league. But again, they are scoring at a higher rate. So is that they're searching for the best opportunity, or is this one more of, no, maybe they're getting a little bit lucky? Like, that would be my thing to figure out with the power play, because if you believe, no, we are a middle-of-the-road power play, and this is going to continue, then how much do you need to prioritize it versus the opposite, which is, I think we're worse than what the numbers show, and that's going to start to hurt us, so we need to address this at the trade deadline.
Yeah. I think, a player would help. I think there's also some decisions they can make with what they have to help infuse a little more effectiveness, efficiency to the unit. I think Tage in that low spot showed that's a thing that can work.
Yep.
Down low. And I would like to see them get a little more floaty. Like, I think Dahlin does a decent job moving around up top for the most part, but he can get stuck on the blue line and kind of plays a lot of catch with one guy on a flank.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a lot of their problem when they get in zone is they get kind of stagnant and end up just playing catch with each other and then just waiting for a one-timer. It's not like that might work for my prep school team I coach, but it's not going to work out in the NHL. The Killers know what you're trying to do too well. They know how to, frame out the net so they can block the shot if it's going in a dangerous area. Mm-hmm. It's not effective. What we saw get effective was for USA was Jack and Tage alternating, and Tage would end up in the middle in the bumper slot, and then he'd roll up top to the flanker where Jack was, and then roll down to his spot on the goal line. And I think that's a little bit of what might be missing from the Sabres power play at this point.
Yeah.
That opens up those plays at the net down low, which we hear Paul talk about all the time. Like, Tage gets that puck on the goal line, take it to the net. He scored a goal in the Olympics like that. He scored a goal right before they went to the break just like that. And like that stuff opens up more when you have more confusion, more movement. It's a surprising thing to me that they don't do it more. Because their whole offensive system 5-on-5 is that. It's the defenseman diving down and creating chaos for the defending team. And they're so effective at it in that situation. And then it feels like on the power play they get too stagnant. It's a weird problem to have for a team that's so good at what I think is necessary for that power play.
I think what might be a problem for them is they don't have, and not that you would have anyone that is as good as him, but they don't have anyone to me near what Eichel is as a distributor on the power play that could play that spot so that Tage can go down low. Like, who's that guy? Is Jack Quinn going to do that role?
No, he's a shooter.
And
well, Norris isn't that side. Like,
one of the defensemen going to do it? Like, do you want
that was the thing I was about to say was like, can Byram do that?
Or do you want to put Byram at the top and put Dahlin on the side with Tage?
Because he's got that one-timer going now. Like, there are ways to infuse some creativity into the unit, and it feels like it just hasn't been done. And that's frustrating, especially when it looks the way it does for so much of the time.
I mean, really, I would just like for them to trade for a guy. Trade for one more guy that you could put on that top unit that can move the puck around and can allow you more ability, I think, to move Tage. Like anywhere. Like he doesn't have to play in that left flank spot every time. You can move him down low. You could put him in the high slot. Like you can.
Right.
But I feel like you are not as able to do that when I don't hear a good idea for someone to then fill in for where he plays. Mm-hmm. USA had Eichel for that, and they had 10 other guys. But is Benson going to do it? He's not going to shoot. Benson, I did see, though, there are numbers that when he's on the power play, they do get shots. They do get scoring opportunities. Right. He just hasn't done it as much this year. Let's go to Paul in Buffalo on the phones. What's up, Paul?
Joe, you might know this better than anyone. Is there a stat that tracks the success of zone entries on the power play? Because from my eye, I think they're okay once they establish in the zone.
Yeah.
Of course, they could be a little better, but sometimes their entries are just terrible, and they waste 45 seconds to a minute before they can get the puck in the zone.
I feel like that is something that someone should be tracking, and maybe there are, but it's not something that I've ever come across. But no, right, because I would bet, though, if I were to find something like that they would rank very low. They get stopped at the blue line all the time.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's probably an internal metric that Teams has that's proprietary. And I'd like to also point out, I really like the McLeod, Zucker, and Quinn line. McLeod and Zucker work really well together, and Jack Quinn has found ways to get himself in front of the net and get some shots on net, create a little offensive chaos. And I also want to point out, Matthias Samuelsson dropped Timo Meier in front of our net last night, and Timo Meier is a thick dude. That is not some 90-pound weakling, and Sammy just sent him flying. It is great to watch the return of Matthias Samuelsson, maybe the biggest difference maker this year for us, because he was so bad for a couple of years, and now he is so good. It is really unbelievable to see. Great show, guys. Have a good day.
Thanks, Paul, for the call. You know, on Samuelsson, that moment, he threw Timo Meier almost into Luukkonen, by the way. Almost a little too much into Luukkonen, but it's because he sent him flying. I had the thought about Samuelsson last night. again, I mentioned this stat with Paul earlier today, Paul Hamilton, that when Samuelsson was on the ice last night, the Sabres outshot the Devils 20-5. They were dominant. And we talked about this after the show the other day with our boss, that in the gold medal game, a guy that was unbelievable that no one mentioned. Some people might not even know he was on the team. Mm-hmm. And it certainly won't get remembered like Hellebuck's save will or what Hughes' effort was in that game and in overtime. Jacob Slavin of the Hurricanes was unbelievable at shutting down a bunch of the Canadian top guys in that gold medal game. But his game is so quiet that you never notice him. Yeah. And watching Samuelsson last night, Samuelsson is standing out more because he is throwing people around. Mm-hmm. But shutting plays down, like that guy's slaving.
Yeah.
Like right now, the way he's played this year, he's slaving.
Yeah.
And again, like that's a player that I don't think gets enough appreciation in the league as one of like the best defensemen in hockey.
There's a couple guys in the league, Jonas Brodin is a little bit of this, like that are truly elite players that you that you really can't understand how special they are if you didn't play or don't understand the game at a really high level, because they're so good that it never looks like they're doing anything. And that's Slavin. And Samuelson's a little different, like you said, the physicality. But just nothing happens bad when Samuelson's on the ice right now. There were like 3 plays last night that he made where he, like the Meyer one, I know exactly the play that Paul's talking about. Mm-hmm. There was one that he, like, with one arm gave Nico Hischier a forearm shiver that sent him like 5 feet away from him. And it was just like, that looked so easy. And like Hischier's going in to battle him, and he just like stick his arm out like he was a bullying a kid with his hand on his forehead. It just looked so easy for him. And that's a beautiful thing when you can be a guy that the game looks that easy for you and you're that dominant when you're out there. That is awesome. There's a couple of guys. I think Power's a little bit of that. You said you wanted to talk about Power earlier. He had a bad play last night, but
end of the game I didn't like. But I loved him for the first 2.5 periods.
There was a couple of times he skated the puck out of his own end yesterday.
Yeah,
he had it behind the net and was just like, I'm just going to skate this all the way to the blue line, and nobody's going to do anything about it. And he just does. And he's gone, and he's just floating up the ice. It looks easy, no problems. And I'm just going to dump it in, and we go forecheck. We get the puck back, and now we're on a low cycle, and we're in the zone. Like, that's what he's great at. It just gets the puck out of his own end all the time. He's so good. And I just, their defensive play, you said it in that first segment, it is a real superpower for them. It's a real superpower.
803-0550 is the phone number. On the Sabres, the deadline is 8 days away. And we also have the Combine rolling on. You're going to get some workouts today with linebackers, defensive linemen, and whatnot. Talk some more about the quarterbacks. But on the Sabres, if you got a phone call, feel free to get in on it. It's Jeremy and Joe here on WGR.